Shalom friends, welcome to Daf Reactions, Bava Metzia 83. This part of the Talmud has been giving me absolutely nothing, but now I realize it was just lulling me into a false sense of security because right now it is serving up the very first slice of a body horror story. Buckle up, my friends. This tale is actually a sequel to the story of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Here is the TLDR. Someone ratted out Shimon Bar Yochai to the Roman occupation forces. To escape capture, he and his son Elazar flee to an off-the-grid cave, where they learn Torah all day while buried in sand and subsisting only on carobs. You know how I feel about carobs. Ugh. So after a total of 13 years, they do rejoin society, but they have kind of a difficult time fitting in for fairly obvious reasons. They are hangry, eczema-ridden fundamentalists. Okay, so that was the prequel. That's what you need to know to go into today's story. Let's get into it. Rabbi Elazar spent his formative years in isolation and as a result has not great social skills. I can relate to this because I was homeschooled. But here he is in this story having a full-on casual convo with a Roman occupation officer. And the officer is like, I just got to do my job. My job is to arrest people. I'm just following orders. Then Rabbi Elazar does a real weird thing based on what we know about his upbringing. He starts giving the Roman officer pro tips on the best ways to profile potential criminals. The Roman officer is like, your ideas are so great. They're so helpful. Would you like to maybe continue to inform us about things? What a plot twist. The son of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, of all people, is really out here being an informant against his fellow Jews to the Roman occupation forces. What the actual fuck? This is why therapy is important. Rabbi Elazar gets rightly mega canceled for this. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Korcha, for one, is just like channeling Kendrick Lamar at this point. He's like, I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. And also I hate the fact that even though your father was like wine, you came out like bitter vinegar. Rabbi Elazar is like, no, I'm not. I'm just like removing people who are bad apples from our community. I'm just getting rid of wicked people. That's all. To which Rabbi Yehoshua replies, well, how about you let God take care of that? No one put you in charge, you fucking snitch. Word of this interaction gets around, and one fateful day, a laundryman yells at Rabbi Elazar, hey, you are a bleached, blonde, bad-built, vinegar son of wine. Rabbi Elazar is like, if he's saying that about me, obviously, he is a criminal. He is bad news. Let me just get him arrested real quick. And he does. But once he has calmed down a little bit and taken his Klonopin, he's like, oh, I really just 1000% abused my authority, didn't I? Yes, I did. So he hurries to get the man released from prison. But it is too late. Rabbi Elazar stands at the gallows beneath the body of the man who has been hanged, and he cries. One of his disciples, I'm amazed he had any disciples left, but I guess he had at least one. He was like, don't feel bad about this. Don't worry about it. This man actually was human trash. I heard that he and his son did it with an engaged woman on Yom Kippur. What a conveniently scandalous assortment of things to invent. I mean, mention. It is relevant to note for the story at this point that Rabbi Elazar was noted for being quite corpulent. So he puts his hands on his famously impressive stomach and speaks to it. You did good with that gut feeling. What a relief to know that we did not get an innocent man unalived. And no maggots or worms will ever affect you, dearest innards. Here he's referring to a belief that if somebody is super righteous, they don't actually decompose once they've passed away. But his self-doubt about this incident and his choices, it returns. The vibes feel off to him. So using that righteous people don't decompose theory, he decides to do a little test on himself to discover if he made the right decision or if he is a bad person. This test is beyond extreme. He has himself sedated, then cut open by a surgeon and has baskets and baskets of fat removed from his belly and put out in the sun to see if they'll rot. If it did not rot, it would prove to him that he was indeed a good person, a righteous person, an ethical person. Shockingly, to me, it didn't rot. He is so relieved. He says, my flesh dwells in safety. But was that really true? The Talmud waits another 2 days to hit us with the nightmarish conclusion to this already disturbing tale. Because tomorrow it switches genres to talk about one of the most iconic love stories in the Talmud. Maybe in the entirety of Jewish history. I told you, Bava Metzia was giving me nothing. And now it's giving me whiplash.